Sakın ha kimse kaybedersin. Kimse şaşıracaksın. Neresi bulacak bir var. Rezil olacaksın. Kimse seni sevmezsin. Kaybedersin. Şaşıracaksın.
Many people around the world struggle with a mental affliction known as waswasa. In this video, I will explain what waswasa is, why they occur, and methods to cope with them. Looking at current statistics, we see an increase in psychological disorders globally. In the UK, the number of people aged 16 to 24 who die by suicide is higher than those who die in traffic incidents. Research shows that mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and OCD have significantly increased in recent years. It has been found that 1 in every 2 young people now suffer from a serious psychological disorder. Today, we face a major problem threatening human psychology. Many people struggle with whispers and obsessions. These are sudden disturbing thoughts, fears, anxieties, repetitive behaviors, suspicious attitudes, and when severe, can darken one's life. So what exactly is waswasa? The word means the settling of successive negative thoughts, images, or sounds in a person's imagination. One of the brain's primary functions is to think. We produce around 3,000 different thoughts a day. The brain generates both benevolent and malevolent thoughts. When these thoughts are not managed, waswasa and obsessions start to form. My friend, who has long struggled with waswasa but hasn't found an effective solution, I know you're tired and no longer want to live this way. But first, you need to understand why these tiring and negative thoughts come to you. In other words, you need to recognize waswasa. Firstly, I want you to know this. When used in moderation and correctly, waswasa can bring a person closer to Allah. We can't say that waswasa is inherently a bad disease. We need to look at it from a positive perspective. Did you know that waswasa most often comes to those with beautiful hearts? Because this is where the shaitan's interest lies. Shaitan attacks those trying to get closer to Allah with waswasa, attempting to distance them from this path. Where there is faith and beauty, waswasa follows. You may have thought your heart and mind were dirty because of the negative thoughts you harbor, but this is not the case. By reconciling with yourself, you can take the first step towards getting rid of waswasa. Moreover, humans are not fixed in one place. They can ascend in rank. When we answer such questions we encounter in life correctly, our value in the eyes of Allah increases. The illness you're fighting today could be a great gain for your hereafter. Now let's move on to the second matter. Friends, shaitan knows us very well. Imagine a room with many doors, with these doors representing our weak points, such as anger, ambition, lack of love, arrogance, stubbornness, and lust. When shaitan sees even a slight crack in these doors, he immediately enters and starts to dominate the thoughts in that area. He focuses the person on a single point, and over time, the person cannot think of anything else. In this situation, the heart becomes weak and unable to resist the shaitan. It starts following the path he has laid out. The same thoughts repeat in the mind, and the person begins to believe in the scenario shaitan has written, living in a complete fake world far from reality. Here we see that shaitan applies a tactic called focusing. There is a danger that wants to focus on negativity at all times, and the most effective way to counter this is to focus on the exact opposite. If waswasa means talking to the shaitan, then to get rid of waswasa, we need to end this conversation immediately and turn to Allah. If the only person we connect with in such situations is Allah, we won't fall into the world filled with waswasas. You need to somehow make Allah the center of your life and strengthen your connection with Him. When waswasas come, think about whether you're focusing on what shaitan says or on Allah. You can immediately turn the bad thought into a dua. For example, the thought, what if I lose all my loved ones at once, is a whisper from shaitan. If you immediately pray for a long and blessed life for all your loved ones, you will distance yourself from this satanic thought and begin a conversation with Allah. The most important thing that will strengthen your heart and increase your connection with Allah is worship. Yes, waswasa might be a hard problem to solve, but you can get through this process more easily by regularly performing your worship. So what are the solutions to waswasa? Firstly, you must know that these thoughts are not yours. If they were, you wouldn't want to get rid of them. To better understand how waswasa affects your psychology, I want you to imagine something now. When a person is imprisoned by waswasa, even if they are in a very beautiful environment, shaitan can make them feel lonely, bad, and pessimistic in that environment. While they could be happy with those around them, they suddenly become unhappy, fall into negative thoughts, become lonely, poison the moment they are in. As we mentioned at the beginning, waswasa stem from an inability to control thoughts, so we need to control these thoughts and place some filters on them. To achieve this control, you can create a mental jury system in your mind. We will question the incoming thoughts step by step. What are these questions? First, is this thought true or false? Second, is this thought useful or not? Third, is the thought safe or not? And fourth, is this thought ethical, in line with moral rules or not? After this questioning, some eliminations occur in our mind, allowing us to think more healthily. Badi'u Zaman Sayyid Nursi has a very effective remedy for waswasa. O you afflicted with the disease of waswasa. Do you know what your waswasas resemble? They resemble calamities. If you give them importance, they swell. If you do not, they wither. If you see them as big, they grow. If you see them as small, they shrink. If you fear them, they become heavy. They make you ill. If you do not fear them, they become light. They remain hidden. If you do not know their nature, they continue and they settle. If you know their nature, recognize them, they go away. Because this waswasa is something that ignorance invites, knowledge dismisses. If you do not recognize it, it comes. If you recognize it, it goes away. One of the remedies in this prescription is not giving its importance, not focusing on it, not dwelling on it. The more you give importance to a thought, the more it grows. A thought that grows as you give it importance was small to begin with, right? So the issue you made an obsession was already a small matter from the start. You were the one who enlarged and aggravated it. Therefore, not giving it much importance from the beginning and changing your focus will present the whispers. Secondly, do not fear. At this stage, you should take refuge in trust. Remember, if Allah wills, everything happens, and if He does not will, nothing happens. Everything's key and reign are in His hands. He sees you and knows how much you are struggling. You're in just a temporary test period. Do not fear your thoughts, do not run from them, face them. Be sure that your Lord is stronger and more merciful than them. The third remedy is knowledge. One of the biggest invitees of waswasa is ignorance. A person becomes an enemy to what they do not know and starts to doubt and worry about it, especially against waswasa in religious and faith-related matters. It is necessary to undertake solid research, answer the questions that come to mind one by one, provide the necessary proofs, or learn the religious rulings. The enlightenment will definitely reduce the whispers. Finally, remember that having a solid goal and useful occupation is one of the best therapies. When you start engaging with a high purpose, Allah will also eliminate the small troubles you're experiencing. Look carefully at what you spend your time on, what you watch, listen to, talk about, and even the people you interact with. Remove the causes that make your soul sick from your life as soon as possible. I believe that you will heal. Believe in yourself too, and fill yourself with hope, taking a new step for yourself today.